Yo, what is good, YouTube? And in this video, I'm gonna show you the secret that you've been ignoring in NBA 2K23. And that's if you actually take the time to slow things down and use contact to your advantage, you will open up different types of attacks for you to take advantage of your defender and score more efficiently in NBA 2K23. I'm gonna show you basic counters, simple combos, and basically a new mentality of how to embrace contact to make you into that next level elite scorer, just like Kobe or MJ or a lot of these guys that use contact to their advantage. So at its simplest, you want to enter into a ride animation, and one way I like to do that is to walk towards my defender and accept the hard contact defense, as you can see right here. Now once you enter that animation right there, you only need to hold R2 at its simplest level to burst out of that contact animation and get to the basket. So a lot goes into this under the hood. You're gonna need a high strength rating, clamp breaker preferably, speed rating, and a lot of those nice athletics. As you can see right here, just holding turbo to get past Russ' initial defense puts our shoulder on the inside, and another turbo gets us to the basket with an easy dunk. Now once you're in that ride animation, you can actually tap down on the right stick to initiate a push-off step back. As you can see right here, look at the space that generated, allowing us to launch into a wide open 3-point jump shot just by tapping down on the right stick after initiating contact. You can also initiate a shoulder push-off by tapping L2 instead of tapping down on the right stick as soon as you enter that ride animation. This will give you a nice shoulder shrug push-off just like MJ used to do. Once again, this just gave us an insane amount of space to launch into an easy 2-point jump shot. Now at the next level of creating contact is making sure that you recognize when you're able to generate that contact animation after launching to your different perimeter combos. So in this example right here, after I launch into that behind the back launch, take a look at how I enter that contact ride animation just very briefly, and for me to recognize that to launch into a step back jumper counter. So as soon as you enter that ride animation, you want to consider all the different options. Take a look at this clip right here. After I launch into that turbo launch, I then launch into a step back jumper, and that offhand push off was enough to push T-Mac backwards and launch me into a relatively open jump shot. So use that ride animation to create that initial turbo burst, and then from there take a look at your shot creation opportunities. After my initial turbo burst here, Josh Giddey tries to guard the basket, afraid of me getting to the basket, so I launch into a counter step back jumper. And too many times, people are just gonna offer up contact online, and you just have to embrace it. Take a look at this animation right here. I put LaMelo Ball in jail just by accepting the contact, initiating that turbo burst, and countering with a step back jumper. Just making sure that as soon as you feel that contact, try to counter. Should I go turbo burst? Should I try to spin? Should I use a right stick counter? The possibilities to counter these types of defenses are endless. Take a look at this clip right here. I just use a standard right stick spin, rotating the right stick counterclockwise as soon as I enter that ride animation, and from there just initiate another branch of contact and counter with a step back jumper. One thing you'll notice from these clips is that my pace is deliberate. I typically want to walk my defenders down if they're being a little bit too aggressive, a little bit too willing to offer up that contact. So I just go out there and embrace that ride animation and find the right counter for the specific situation. Just look at that, man. An easy ride counter with a spin gets me to the basket easily, and just basically just try to embrace those different contact opportunities. As you can see here, my initial spin into that crossover did not work. I enter into a ride animation after a turbo burst, but a spin jumper works almost as well as long as you have clamp breaker and those shot creation badges. So here's where I show the diversity of my bag. After that initial spin was followed by the AI defense, I just countered with a quick snatch to a turbo burst, getting me to the basket as easily as long as you're aware of how to counter these different moves, get to from one spot to another. It's gonna save you really just knowing how to use contact against your defender. Take a look here. The defender counters that initial action really well, but I enter into a dynamic post setup to get me an easy post fade. Same situation right here against someone like Wemby, who's tall and can guard post fades. After my initial triple threat launch, take a look at that contact right there. but instead I use a tap L2 to enter the post animation, get into the dynamic post counter, and counter with an easy post fade. So go ahead, just try to use different right stick inputs and different types of shot creation counters once you enter that right animation. Don't be afraid to use contact against your defender here. I just tap the right stick down and to the left as I was moving to the right. In that right animation, gets us an easy behind the back crossover counter and gets us to the basket easily. So there you have it, an important system in NBA 2K that's often ignored by a lot of people. But once you master using contact against your defender with how aggressive defenses are played online, you're gonna take your offense to the next level, unlock that next level of shot creation you didn't know you had, and turn you into an elite offensive bucket.